Hello guys, NautoAce here, and I want to give my thoughts on the Sony's State of Play of February 23rd, 2023. So, unfortunately, this one for me is a so-so presentation because there's a lot of games. Well, I'm not really interested because, of course, to some extent, if you know the history with Sony right now, with PlayStation being how their headquarters in California, well, to some extent, I don't want to go to a political direction, but most of the games are something's just not to my liking, to some extent. I'm going to give my thoughts on the game that sort of caught my eye and some that it did caught my eye, and especially my thoughts on the Suicide Squad from Rocksteady. And even so, I like DC, I like the Arkham Knight series. This one's going to be probably challenging because, well, another game kind of did this and it failed, but that'll be later on. So first of all, honorable mention to some extent is they did showcase some VR2 games. Not really interested. I'm not interested with VR or VR2. I did see a game demoing in a Best Buy a long time ago with PlayStation VR, and I was just watching the monitor, and then at some point I'm like, okay, it's making me dizzy. So to some extent, yeah, for me, VR, no bueno. So I mean, if there's a game for you there, good. But for me, mostly they have like just first person. I mean, yeah, there's going to be Resident Evil Village VR. And of course, they just confirmed this by Capcom. Resident Evil 4 Remake will also have a VR mode. But it is what it is there. There are some games that I just want to give my thoughts a bit. I'm not really interested, but to some extent, like, oh, the history behind it, it is sort of interesting. So first of all, they showed a new IP called Chia. And it's sort of an adventure game. You're a little girl going on an adventure in an island. That's kind of what I understand. So I'm not really interested with the game. However, this is one of the games that if you have PlayStation Plus Extra or Premium, it's a day one release. So another game they did that in the past was Stray. And yet, when it comes to Game Pass for Sony, they're not as well upper level than Game Pass. Because in Game Pass, all the first-party games always in day one, and they have some good games there. But when it comes with Sony, you know, it'll be challenging due to finance, but you know that's a different story there. But it is interesting that this game, Chia, will be day one if you have extra or premium. So another one is Volcano High, and from what I understand, this game is that it was in a development problem. And they were having a hard time. They were supposed to be released like last year, from what I understand. And then it got delayed, has some problems. So it has a release date now, summer of 2023. And they show what the game is all about. And I don't get it. I'm just going to say that. But there is a game that I'm sort of interested. And it's from the people who did Tetris Effect and Res Infinite. And that is Humanity. And you're a dog that you're leading people to the goal. And I mean, it's beautiful. It is what it is. And it's on the PS4, PS5, and there's a demo as of right now. So there's your shadow drop to some extent there. So nothing much there. But the next one, I have to say that I'm actually saying, oh, this is awesome. And granted, it is sort of I'm going to go with a quality of life game, but they added some new stuff. And what am I talking about? Naruto Cross Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connection. So what it is all four Ultimate Ninja game in the past is going to be combining two months, so you can have like one big story, especially with Naruto's timeline. So you're going to be playing the Naruto storyline and then Shippuden. And the new part here is that they're also going to add Boruto storyline. So if you watch the Boruto series, I kind of did, then you'll understand a lot of the arcs and story there. Plus, they introduced new two characters that's never been released in the previous Storm game. And those are the brothers and the son of the Six-Path Sage. And I forget their name, but finally they're playable characters there. So this game is going to be in all consoles, so surprisingly. But to some extent, if you want that full 4K 60 frames per second experience, you might want to go for the PC, PS5, and Series X. Just saying. But yeah, so finally, The Storm collection is going to be in one big game. So in one game, you play all the arc from Naruto Shippuden, and then Boruto, the next generation. And then surprisingly, they announced Baldur's Gate 3 for the PlayStation 5. It's also on PC. And for now, apparently, I could be wrong, but from what I read, it is a PlayStation 5 exclusive. So why am I sort of interested with this game? Not so much with the game, but the situation behind it. Because if you don't remember in the past, originally, Baldur's Gate 3 was a Stadia exclusive, believe it or not. And of course, you know what happened to Stadia, so what comes next? Well, put it on another console. You know, it is what it is. Kind of like with, well, to some extent with Earthworm Jim 4, it was supposed to be a Amico exclusive, and now all the reports is that, yeah, it's canceled. They have not even developed the game. They didn't do anything. They probably had a lot of big ass stick up their asses. You know what I'm talking about, but it is what it is there. So, whatever. So, Baldur's Gate 3 is on the consoles, on the PS5 at least. Of course, it's on PC. Two games that I am interested in, and they're from Capcom. And remember, Capcom and Sony have a great relationship, and that Resident Evil 4 Remake, Sony has the right for the marketing. So, they're probably going to say best play on PlayStation 5, which I kind of agree to some extent. I know. Anyway, first of all, Street Fighter 6, they finally revealed the last 3 characters for the base roster for Street Fighter 6. And those are Zangief, Cammy, and another newcomer, Lily. And supposed to be, she's the daughter of Thunderhawk. So there you go. They show what they can do. That's going to be interesting. So finally, all the characters been shown on the base roster. Yes, there was a leak. Chances are the other characters are probably going to be DLC unless something happened. But as of right now, there are your characters. There it is. The World Warrior 8 and some new characters. It is what it is there. And then more on Resident Evil 4 Remake. So it's more story than gameplay for this one to some extent, like what it's focused on. And so they're adding new elements about the story and lore for Resident Evil 4. So that's going to be interesting because this game is going to be more horror than action. Because the original Resident Evil 4 was action. I played it, so it is what it is. But the best part is there will be a demo coming soon. And as I said before, they're also planning to do a VR mode for this game. So if you're an RE fan and if you love Resident Evil 4 because that's one of the best games ever, there it is. A reboot, retold story per se. We'll just have to wait and see. So those are the games that they showcase on the State of Play. And now we're going to talk about the Suicide Squad. So they explain what the game is. I'm surprised that this game actually is canon to the Arkham series. Takes place 5 years after Arkham Knight, so I guess. And apparently something happened. Brainiac took over the Justice League. And now the city, the landscape, the setup, so on, Metropolis. So, again, story-wise, Brainiac brainwashed the Justice League. Now you have to kill them because, you know, you're the Suicide Squad. That's sort of the basic premise. Gameplay-wise, it reminds me of Fortnite. So, a lot of the characters are Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, King Shark, Harley Quinn. My guess is with the story-wise, they were given enhanced power and gear. That's why they have multiple weapons. That's why you can see like Captain Boomerang doing some weird teleports. So again, kind of makes sense if you want to rival to be equal with the Justice League because, you know, they're superpowered people. And interesting part there. But the gameplay-wise, like I said, it's just Fortnite. And oh boy, so the aspect of the flow combo is not there anymore. If you want that, Gotham Knights has it. Sort of understanding the lore side because they're not Batman, so it's more a shooter. That's kind of concerning there. Second is there was a leak about a battle pass, and with this leak, it kind of sort of confirmed that this game's going to be a game as a service. Oh boy! And if you played Marvel Adventure from Square Enix, you know what happened there. So the game itself, okay. Story, okay. What they offer was really weak. So if it's going to be something like that for Suicide Squad, that's going to be, oh boy, you're going to have a problem there. So it's going to be a $70 game. It's going to have paid DLC, or is it going to be free DLC? Because granted, at least with Marvel Avengers, the DLCs, there isn't. It's just a bunch of microtransaction things. I don't know what it is. But as of now, there's no like DLC. Like if you want to play a new character, it's in the game. That's it. So I don't know what they're going to do with Suicide Squad. So right now, with the leak about a battle pass and then the way they discuss the game is like sort of a live service game, that's going to be concerning. So hopefully there's going to be a demo for this game. Hopefully they give more info. Hopefully that it's only going to be $70 and that's it. If you want to get new characters, then you just get it by earning, by doing some event. Who knows? But as of right now, that is concerning. That is very, very concerning. So those are my thoughts. It's not as exciting than the Nintendo Direct. And I mean, Sony and Nintendo are two different companies. They're apple and oranges. Nintendo has to offer a lot of games, especially the first party, because that's what Nintendo is. While in case with Sony, you play your third party there, trophies, better experience. That's why there's not a lot of first party game, but it is what it is. And you might say, well, what about with Capcom? Sony and Capcom have a great relationship. That's why they're. So, if I'm going to give a score for this one, I have to give it a 5 out of 10. Because for me, the Suicide Squad, kind of concerning what they explained, that it wasn't exciting. It was concerning. A lot of the games there, I don't really recognize what it is. There might be something there. But to some extent, some of these games, especially when you're talking about the VR part, yeah, unless you like VR games, not a lot of people are going to go play VR games. And the games they offer, it may be good, but when you think about sort of indie games, you either play it on the Switch. It is what it is there. So, yes, it is a 5 out of 10. They showed some game. They did explain what Suicide Squad is. But at the same time, there's nothing really much they can offer. Plus, Suicide Squad's information, questionable to some extent. So that's my thoughts. With that, I'll see you guys later.